dollars. Very good. Coffee. Whatever. Some coffee.
For the camera.
You need some coffee. Yes, you have to pay it. But what market spread big.
So will you guys having coffee?
I'll see that it'll be now. That's that.
How many years have you guys been there?
26, 28 long. You would sit you would say 20 years right there. Oh, that's right. 21. 21 this year. What fast.
Well.
Yeah.
Charlie will be 49 this year.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Charlie will be 57. You're 58, you'll be 58. Oh, it's
That does not look like it, seriously. I would say 30 later.
Oh, I'll have to tell him that.
No, he's getting awful thin.
He's getting thin up here and he's
Thinner than me. I wrote more his face.
He's got a baby face.
And he got. Really, I think at least.
I don't think
Late
anybody.
20s, early 30s, like 32. Maybe more than 33. Wow.
48.
They used to get out of meetings because he didn't tell you it was 40.
49. Yeah.
No, I always think different toys that you like. That's not look seriously. No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
Him is. How old is Scott?
oh,
You should be able to, I think, that's on that wall.
I'd be
35?
yeah, I thought it was 34, but yeah, that'd be good.
Anyways.
So they-
So where are you reading?
Okay, we're right
I'm
next to
just
the
gonna have it.
Just maybe-
Oh, okay.
You pay for me.
Huh? Huh?
And Steve, you want to get
Okay, let me. see
Oh.
if there's anything.
Yeah.
Not anything like that.
She's something. Like what?
Yeah.
Such hot days. So much pain.
Which is fine, I just wanted to make sure we're not. That's fine.
So at home. I don't say about it. Yeah. Don't worry, I look for it. I put it. Check it.
Oh, it's the jacket just, that makes sense, that's probably what. It's actually a good. But on the other side of that, okay, they put it under, so.
No. You can read no shirt, three pencil. Yeah. I know.
Right now.
Yeah, I think that, no, those are good.
T-shirt.
No, this one was. Yeah, we're still going past.
I live at like all four.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. So that was.
Yeah.
That's what you would do, 7 days, but-
Oh, it also works.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, right?
Issue.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. We have a bit of a smaller group today, so feel free to ask any questions. We're gonna go through a lot of information, so if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning vendor, also welcome. We have a lot of new information this year that we're excited to share. If you are online, please make sure that you're putting in the chat what your vendor name is so that we can count you as attended for the vendor meeting. First I want to start by kind of introducing our team. So my name is Elizabeth. I am the Downtown Farmers Market Manager. Amelia is over here as well. And then Anna was checking people in, Molly was grabbing their shirts. We have a couple of other people on our team that you'll see occasionally down at the market. We are wearing orange this year, so if you need us, find an orange shirt and we will be happy to help you. And we are also located at the information booth every Saturday on the corner of 4th and 3rd. So you can always find us there if you're having questions on site. So I want to start by talking about some history of the Downtown Farmers Market because we have a very important milestone that we're hitting this year. And that our market started July 24th, 1976. It had 15 vendors, about 200 shoppers, and the season was July through September. So a very different vibe than our market is currently. This year will mark 50 seasons of the Downtown Farmers Market, which we're really excited about. We've had a lot of changes over the years. So this is just a brief timeline of kind of all the changes that were added. We've moved from a parking lot to Ford Avenue. We've opened streets, closed streets, moved things around. At one time, all of the vendors were in the street and they were vending out to the sidewalks. Obviously, we don't do that anymore, but that was a point in our history that we're very glad to not do anymore. And then here we are today. We have over 300 vendors, nearly 100 entertainers, an estimated 28,000 people come to our market every single week. We get about 40,000 on opening day. And we are 12 city blocks, which is really great. So this photo, I believe, was taken 2 years ago. And that just really shows the magnitude of what our market is and how big it is and the reach that we have. We are open May through October, so again, a longer season than when we started in 1976. Opening day is May 3rd, and then we go until October 25th. 7 a.m. to noon. In October, our hours will change to 8 a.m., still ending at noon. This year, we are excited to add an addition to our market. As many of you know, last year we added Water Street. Water Street will no longer be in the footprint for 2025. However, we are adding 5th Street right in front of the courthouse from Cherry to Mulberry. With this addition and remeasuring the street, we were able to add 27 new booth spaces to our market. This is also including some food truck spaces on Court Avenue. We were able to enter in some new entertainer locations and kind of strategically place everybody in the market so that it's as streamlined as possible. We're really excited about this addition because it is the 50th and we're right in front of the courthouse. We feel like it will kind of enhance the market a little bit. It's also convenient because there are 2 parking lots, parking garage and parking lot over there where a lot of people are going to be coming from, as well as some of the parking lots down farther too. So we're going to get people coming from every direction this year, which is really exciting. So as many of you might have noticed, July 26th on your schedules is currently either unscheduled or pending, okay? This is because we are still working through what that date's gonna look like. That is going to be held for our 50th anniversary celebration. So what we are planning is from 7 a.m. to noon, we're gonna have a regular market, just like normal. And then at noon, half of the market footprint is gonna pack up and leave, and the other half will remain open until 3:30. So there was a survey that was going around that if you haven't filled out, let me know and I can send that to you if you're interested. If your date was currently pending when you applied, you're able to express interest in this date. I will say that with this scheduling and with half of the footprint closing, your normal booth locations are not guaranteed. What I mean by this is if you're normally vending on 2nd Street and you want to stay for the entire market for this date in particular, I cannot have you on 2nd Street because that is going to be part of the market that closes. If you're normally on 4th and you want to stay the whole time, I can put you on 4th. But if you're normally on 4th and you don't want to stay, you're also going to have to move into the section that leaves. So we're doing some strategic scheduling with this based on who wants to stay and how many vendors are available. So just know that your normal spot is not guaranteed and your attendance is also not guaranteed. We have limited space for that extended market as well. But we're planning some programming, some live music, some different things to kind of celebrate our 50 seasons. So this is our market footprint for 2025. As you can see, it remains mostly the same with the addition of 5th Street, kind of strategic placement of the food trucks. We'll talk about entertainment in a little bit. Please note that the Polk County courthouse, Polk County building parking lot is no longer used for vendor parking. That was a change made last year, if you remember, so we can still not use that. The terrace parking garage will be open for parking. As well as the parking lots by Roca. We're still working on the parking lot behind the Stuffed Olive. More to come. We will have parking accessible over in that location, but we're still working on if it's going to be in that parking lot or if it's going to be somewhere on the street. So stay tuned for that. We'll have more information to come. There's also the parking lot south of the courthouse. And then as usual, if we've had you park in front of barricades or in alleys, continue to do that so that we don't have traffic running through the market. So I do want to highlight some of our programs that we have to market. Again, if you're new, these are some really great programs that we offer and I wanna share them with you. If you're a returning vendor, maybe there are some things that you don't know about. So I'm gonna share with you all of our programs that we have. First, I wanna let you know that Unity Point Health is returning to be our presenting sponsor again this season, which is really awesome. We're really excited to work with them again. They have their booth right across from the information booth on 3rd and Court. And they will be doing a lot of different activities every week, so feel free to stop by if you're walking by and see what they're up to. These are some photos from last year, some of the activities they did. They bring their service dogs down, they do operation with some of the surgery nurses, have some other different things as well, so they have a lot of great programming that they do. These are our other programs that we have, so as you can see, we have quite an extensive list. So we're gonna kind of go through these really quick, and if you have any questions, let me know. The first is our community corner. So this is on 3rd and Court. It's the south side of 3rd. This is where our nonprofit organizations and our market extras go. So our nonprofits, think of like Polk County Master Gardeners, Ring and Peace, Des Moines Waterworks, those sorts of organizations get space on 3rd Street periodically throughout the market. Some photos of Waterworks when they were there a couple years ago. And then market extras are gonna be more of the daily sponsors for the market. So think the Iowa Cubs, the Iowa Wild, the Kansas City Chiefs when they were there last year. So they're not always on that community corner, but we try to keep them over there. So it's rotating every week. So feel free to come over and say hi to all the organizations that are over there that help make the market possible. We did revamp our entertainment and our musician areas. So the map underneath, all of the green dots will show you where the entertainers are located. You might notice that they're all on the south side of Court, on the corners. So this was strategic so that we could better place our musicians around the footprint. Most of them are the same, with the exception of some of them down in the 100 block and then on 5th Street. This was to just kind of make sure that some of those side streets are, not getting drowned out by a lot of the noise and the different things that happen down there. So we're just trying to strategically place everybody so that we can have music all over. We are continuing our Spark GSM program. This will be the 4th year of this program. We're really happy to announce that last year we had about 24 businesses in the program, and now about 13 of them are, 11 of them are actually vendors this year at the market. So they've graduated that program and become vendors at the market, which is really exciting. We have about 24 of them in the program this year. And so you'll see another rotating list of some of those vendors in our Spark GSM booth locations next to our information booth. And this really is to support small businesses and improve access to economic growth for these businesses across Des Moines. And so the people who are in these programs, they have a curriculum that they go to and they learn different things. It is presented by Principal and it's in partnership with the Evelyn K. Davis Center. So if you want to stop over and say hi to some of our Spark vendors throughout the season, they will be rotating. But this is just a really great program and we see a lot of vendors come out of this program as well. We are doing our Meals from the Market program again this year. So this was created in 2009 to provide easy access to fresh, healthy food that gets spread around through the DMARC Food Pantry Network. So we work in collaboration with DMARC, the Des Moines Area Religious Council. I do want to share some numbers with you because these donations come from you as a vendor. So last year, we were able to provide over 31,000 meals based on vendor donations at the Downtown Farmers Market, which is really amazing. And then since its inception in 2009, we've been able to provide over 500,000 meals. And so this is all coming directly from the vendors. It's not a requirement. It's just something that the vendors like to do. And so if you've done that in the past, thank you. And if you're curious about more information on this, let me know. But they will be coming around with their wagons and their aprons again this year. So just know that these numbers are being tracked and they do matter. And this is a really great, looking at the numbers, it's just really great to see how the program is flourishing in the community. We do have some additional programming as well. So last year, you might have noticed that we did some activations, yoga at the market, a bouquet making class, different things like that. We had a porch planter class at Winter Market, so there's always options and different programming aspects that we're looking to kind of add to the market, so you'll likely see more of this year. We do our bell ringing every morning at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in October. We have different organizations or individuals come down and ring the bell for us. And then we do have some opportunities in August for National Farmers Market Week for vendors to come down and ring the bell as well. So we'll have some more information to come with that, but just know that there will be some opportunities for you as a vendor to come ring our bell. And then we will be having our on-site water station again this year. It'll fluctuate between 3rd and 2nd on Court Avenue. So you'll see that, especially on the really hot days in the summer. We have bike valet again as well. It's gonna be run by the Street Collective, and it's gonna be in the Terrace parking garage in the 100 block of the market. So if you see people running around with their bikes and they're looking like they don't know where to put them, send them down to the corner of 2nd and Court Avenue, and that will be where the bike valet is. It's 8 a.m. to noon. It is weather dependent, but most of the time they're open. So we just have this so that we don't have a bunch of bikes leaning against vendor tents and against different light poles and whatnot. So if you see people with bikes, let them know that they can park their bike down there for free. Okay, now I'm gonna dive into some of the vendor information. This is the information that will directly impact you as a vendor. So this is very, very important. If you have any questions, we'll do some questions at the end, but just write them down or make notes of them. We do have some changes this year. So if you're thinking, oh, I've done this before, I know the rules. We have some changes, so we'll get to that as well. The first thing, this is a change from previous years. In the past, vendor type has not been super identifiable in the market spread or just overall. So this year we have scripted very distinct definitions about your vendor type, okay? So your vendor type is chosen by you, the vendor, at the time of your application. So your vendor type has already been chosen by you. At least 60% of your products must align with your vendor type in order for it to be considered a primary category. What that means is if you chose that you are a produce vendor, and that is all that's what you want to say, we sell produce, but 60% of your products are material goods, you would not qualify as a produce vendor, okay? If you say that you're selling, prepared food, but then you have most of your products as produce, right? So just making sure that 60% of your products align within that vendor category, okay? These are the vendor types and the descriptions. So as you can notice, some of them have changed from the past. The one that I want to point out is the farmer category. There are 2 of these categories now. Produce is its own category. So if you are a farmer and 60% of your products are produce, you will be in the produce category. This is just to help us when we're talking about double up food bucks and the WIC voucher or the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. So some of the vouchers that we use for food assistance, this is the identifier for us to know who accepts those. And so we've made a division between the farmer categories. Agriculture and value added is going to be anything from flowers to hemp to honey, meat, dairy, any value added products that you might have. Artisan remains the same, your baked goods, your jams, your breads, your spices. Material goods remains the same, prepared food remains the same, and your food trucks remain the same. So these are just a little bit more defined. You can find this in your handbook. If you have questions about your vendor type and how you would describe your vendor type, please let us know. We're happy to have that conversation. The other thing that has changed from years past is vendor status. So this has not been clearly defined in the past either. So we've written some descriptors for this. A lot of times people hear, oh, we're full season, we're occasional, right? But what does that mean? So we have made a definition. If you are full season, you are attending 20 to 26 of our markets and you have the same booth location. This is so that when we tell people that come to the market, hey, Storybook's gonna be in this spot every single week, and that's where you can find them, okay? They're full season, they're gonna be there every week. Whereas another vendor, you might say, yes, they're gonna be here every week, but their spot might vary, okay? Or yes, they're gonna be here 3 of the weeks of the market, their spot's gonna be in a different location. So we can better track that if we have a definition of full season versus occasional. If you were occasional, that is between 1 and 19 market dates, and your booth space will fluctuate, okay? You might not be in the same space every single week. You might be in the same area, but your booth will actually not be the same number. First year vendors and food trucks are both occasional vendors. After the first season, a new vendor can apply to be a full season vendor. However, this is not always guaranteed, okay? Food trucks, unfortunately, you are always occasional just due to the lack of space that we have and the amount of food trucks that we have that are on our roster. Full season status is based off of a variety of vendor, their products, as well as your attendance from previous years, a vendor payment history, and whether or not you're just overall in good standing, okay? So if you're thinking, wow, I applied to be full season, but I didn't get it, I wonder why. It most likely is because we just have a lot of vendors that want to be full season and we can't approve everyone. We have more vendors than we do spots, and so that's kind of the struggle that we have. We wanna make sure that all products are represented. We wanna make sure that everybody is being able to sell their products and we're not putting people next to each other because they wanna be full season. So if you have questions about your vendor status, just let me know and we can also have that conversation, but we defined it for the first time this year, and so we're trying to figure out what works best for us. We do have our scheduling process as well. All schedules are final by May 1, so if you have questions or concerns about your schedule, check on Market Spread now. You have less than 30 days to check your schedule and make sure that everything looks good and is good to go. Okay, for vendor setup, this has not changed from years past. However, I am going to reinforce it. At 4:30, that is when our street closure begins. You cannot be there. There's a lot of things that happen from 4:30 to 5 a.m. that a lot of vendors don't see, and we don't really want you to see. We are towing cars. We are putting our porta potties out. We are placing our trash bins. We are cleaning the street from the vomit from the night before. We are doing a lot of things that are not super fun that we don't need you to be there for or see, okay? Do not show up and unload until 5 a.m., okay? 5 a.m. is the magic time. As soon as 5 a.m. happens, you can open your vehicle doors, you can unload everything, but nothing is to be unloaded before 5 a.m., okay? All of your vehicles must be out of the market footprint by 6:45. No exceptions, okay? 6:45, if you still have a vehicle, you're gonna be asked to move it whether you're done unloading or not, okay? You'll have to cart everything else into the market footprint. If you're running late, let us know. We can help send someone down, help you get out of there. We're pretty flexible, but we wanna make sure that we have our barricades closed at 6:45. This is because if we don't, we have traffic that is not from vendors running through our market, and we don't want that. Also at 6:45, you can begin selling to vendors only. So look around the room, all the people in here, you can sell to at 6:45. All the people online, all the people that have gone to the other 2 vendor meetings, you can sell to at 6:45. You cannot sell to patrons until 7 a.m. when we ring the bell. We had a question on Tuesday night. What happens if there are people who are waiting and want to buy our produce before 7 a.m.? What do? They're grabbing, they're loading their bags, they're trying to save things for 7 a.m. when they can make that sale. I would say first, throw us under the bus. We are happy to tell them that this is a market rule and you can't do that. But also try to, make them stand on the sidewalk or move away from your booth, right? It is your booth, it is your product. You have the right to sell to who you want to sell to. And so if people are impeding in your setup time, let us know. We'll come over there. We'll be happy to have conversations with people. Just make sure that we're not selling before 7 a.m. because that is when our permits say that you can sell, okay? Everybody, when they signed in, received a yellow parking tag this year. I know they're green on the screen. That's what they've been for the last few years. They are yellow this year. If you are virtual, you will get one of these at the information booth on your first market date. If you want to stop in the office and pick it up, you can do that as well. They are yellow. this is not just a parking tag, okay? Please make it visible in your vehicle at all times. Every vendor gets one of these, and that is it. So make sure that it is visible at all times. This will be how you get back in during loadout. If you don't have one of these in your vehicle during loadout, you can't get back in, okay? The people will not let you through the barricades. You'll have to cart everything out of the market or wait until the road closes, opens back up. So, make sure that you have one of these visible. If you lose it, let me know, we can figure something out. But make sure that you have this visible at all times. We wrote your names on them so that if you're parked somewhere and we need to have your car moved, we can go find you. So just make sure that it's visible for, at all times for the. For vendor tear down, and when you're exiting the market, our market closes at noon. Your last sale can be made at 12:10 p.m. You cannot drive into the market until 12:15 p.m. Not 12:05, not 12:10, not 12:14, 12:15, okay? We are gonna be sticklers about it this year. We've had some incidents in the past. We don't want to, it's a safety issue essentially, so we don't wanna have those issues again. So make sure that 12:15, you can come in, okay? I know some people's clocks in their cars are different, right? That's fine, but we're gonna stand there, well, you'll know when you can come in, okay? There must always be a lane of traffic open. You cannot fully block the street, okay? So pull in as close to your booth as you can. Make sure that you're pretty much packed up and ready to go when your car is coming into the market, right? Don't pull your car in and you still have your tents and all your boxes to pack up. Make sure that you're packed up so that when you pull your vehicle in, you can load everything up and you can get out, okay? We wanna make sure that this is as streamlined as possible. We're trying to get 300 vendors out at one time, so it can be a little bit tricky to navigate, but we wanna make sure that it's as efficient as possible. In the packet that you received when you checked in, if you're virtual, you can see it on the screen. This is our updated 2025 traffic flow map. This is the way of traffic and how it should be flowing during entrance and exit of the market. So find where your booth is, see where you're located, and try to figure out the best way to get to and from your booth, okay? Notice that 2nd Street and 3rd Street are still one-way streets despite the road being closed. 4th Street has become a one-way exiting out, okay? Do not drive towards Court Avenue if you are on 4th Street, okay? This is very important. We've had a lot of issues the past couple of years with just different people and blocking traffic and trying to get through the wrong way. So make sure that we're following this map. We are going to be sticklers about it this year, and we will be out and about and kind of policing this to make sure that everybody is going the right direction, okay? Yes.
Are the alleys accessible? I see there's an alley on, right off of Court and Third. That,
These ones?
up higher, I mean, I guess any of them, but yeah, there's,
Yes. So they should be. I will say that sometimes we have vendors that park in those alleys on occasion, which
okay,
is fine. So ideally, yes, they should be accessible, but there might be some people still parked there.
okay,
Obviously, like, we know that people park in this lot here by Cavco, and we know that sometimes that's a little tricky to get out. You wanna go the wrong way down Court. And unfortunately, people are just gonna have to go around and kind of come back in, down on 5th, or come down on 3rd and kind of go back around. So, there are ways to get around. We can definitely, if you have questions about the best way for you to get from your spot to your parking or whatnot, come find me afterwards and I can try to help you map that out, so that we can figure that out together.
alright, thank you.
Yes,
I used to park in the alley right by Hessen House to
This
block it from people driving into the farmer's market.
yeah,
And last year I had a problem with that. Somebody, I don't know if you remember that, someone tried writing a ticket.
Yep.
Is that?
we want you to park there because,
I can park there?
yep, nobody is supposed to, you're parked there to block traffic going through.
That's what I thought, and then I got, you know,
Yep, no, we figured that out.
I think we just have to be cautious of that apartment building that's right there, allowing people to make sure that they can still get through. So,
yeah, yep, to park
yeah,
there.
that's something that we need to be cautious of.
And we never really like got that far up. I mean, it was like maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3 cars deep.
I do remember a problem though with a door being blocked so people couldn't get out of the apartment building, so
Yes.
we'll just
Yeah,
have
and
to
I
take a
know who
look
that
at that.
was, yeah.
So just being cautious, if you do park in an alley, that we're letting room for people to like walk and kind of live their life, but we do wanna make sure that like, yes, it's fine to park there because we don't want cars driving all the way through, right? So just making sure that it's not like the whole alleyway being blocked. Yeah. And again, if you have questions about this, we can figure out the best route for you as a vendor to find the parking in your spot and kind of the route to get there. I'd love to have that conversation with you if you have questions, because we want to make sure that everybody knows the best way to get to their spot.
One other thing, on Fifth Street, there, like in the morning when I show up, I come in from the north, going south on Fifth Street, turning on Court. Is that okay still, in the morning, or is that gonna be?
We can talk
closed?
after
Okay.
as well. I will say that this map, everybody gets there at a different time for setup. So try your best to follow it during setup. Truly, we're all leaving at the same time for tear down. We need to follow this during tear down. If at no other time, tear down is when we need to follow. And so just knowing that.
Like at 5 in the morning.
At 5 in the morning, people get there at different times, right? So we're not gonna be out policing, but please be cautious of leaving lanes open and try your best to follow with that, because people are getting there at the same, at pretty good time.
I will say there will be a good chance that it might be blocked off by the police officer barricades by that time.
Okay, all right.
They try to get the yellow barricades up, like, based on our map, so you might not be able to get through.
So what's the best, like, usually I get off on the Fifth Street exit from 235 and then just come
Yeah.
straight through.
Again, we can chat after
Okay.
this, and I can let you know the best.
Okay.
Yep. Really quick, I wanna chat about an attendance policy. This has kind of been the same over the last few years, but we've kind of beefed it up a little bit. The gist of it is if you're gonna be gone, let me know with as much notice as you can. If you don't let me know at all, you're gonna be considered a no-show. If you can let me know at least 24 hours in advance, that would be an excused absence, and so that way, we can reschedule your spot, right? Or like unschedule you so that people aren't looking for you. This year we have a new, widget, I guess, on our website. So if you're gonna be gone and we unschedule you, you disappear from the on-site vendors for today. Okay, so if you're gonna be gone, we wanna make sure that we're unscheduling you, so people don't walk around looking for you the whole time if they're wanting to find you. So, please just let us know. Again, unforeseen emergencies will be taken into consideration always. We are people too. We have things that come up. But just let us know. Bottom line is kind of just, if you're gonna be gone, tell us. Okay, if you were in person, when you checked in, you signed a form acknowledging the addition of a new section in our handbook. This is that new section. You have a copy of it in your packet. If you were virtual, we will send that to you, but you also acknowledged it when you applied and signed up for the market. So just know that this is new and we're gonna walk through it. These are not to just like fine everybody all the time. We don't wanna do that. This is just to reinforce some of our new policies that we have to make sure that everybody's following the rules and that we're all happy and okay. The first thing is a no-show and cancellation fine. So if you let me know at least 24 hours in advance, if you're gonna be gone, you won't get this charge. If you call me day of and you say, sorry, I just don't wanna be there. Okay, again, emergencies are taken into account. If you have a flat tire on your way in, I'm not gonna charge you for a flat tire, okay? But if you're just a no-show consistently, right? We're gonna have that conversation because we wanna know what's going on, why you're not showing up to your scheduled dates, okay? Especially when we're showing on our schedule that you're here and people might be looking for you, and then we tell them, oh yeah, they're usually over here. We don't wanna send people down to your booth if you're not there, okay? The other thing too, this second bullet, this is primarily for early departure, okay? If you're leaving at 10 o'clock because, I don't know, you just wanna leave, you ran out, you did whatever, okay? We're gonna have a conversation after reoccurring times, you could be subject to a fine, okay? Again, we always take into account emergencies. and different situations. So we are people, we understand, so have that conversation with us. And we can talk to you about it, but, just know that these are, new this year, and so we wanna make sure that, we're doing what we can. Bottom line, let us know, talk to us, communicate with us, right? Email us, call us, come down and talk to us on the market. You know, let us know. A dumping fine is going to be something else that we've added this year. If you are caught leaving your trash behind or dumping items into the street, onto buildings, onto public property, or into the storm drains, unfortunately, you will be assessed a fine, okay? We are in the, we will give warnings, we will chat with you about it, but just know that this is something that the city has talked to us about as well. Unfortunately, dumping things into the storm drains is not our rule, that is the city's, okay? We are not allowed to do that. That is a city ordinance, a city rule. You can be fined by the city if you're caught doing that, and so, we get in trouble for it as well. We want to alleviate all of that. So please do not dump things into the street, okay? This includes dumping things into city or market trash receptacles. We do use Ankeny Sanitation for our waste management, however, this is for our patrons only. Think of being a vendor at our market kind of like camping at a national park. Whatever you pack in, you pack it out. Okay, if you bring it to the market, please bring it home with you. I know that that's not always glamorous and that's not always the most fun thing that you can do, but we do not want your trash, okay? We have enough of it with the 28,000 people that come down to our market, okay? And Ankeny Sanitation works very hard to keep it clean for us. And so we wanna make sure that they're not all still cleaning up after us. So take everything home, don't dump things onto private property, don't dump things in the street. Make sure that everything is just how you left it.
I have a question real
Yes.
quick. We do have a little trash can. Sometimes people put drinks in there that still like are halfway full.
Liquid.
Gotcha.
Is that something that we still try to, I mean, cause like, I don't want it to spill in my
Yeah.
vehicle when I transport it out.
I would say that's a little different. If there's a way to somehow like make sure that your trash can is like not necessarily, I mean, you
We
probably.
try to hide it, but they always find it.
I believe that. I would say that if it's like very clearly not your trash, that's okay. To like take that stuff out and dump it, right? It's
Okay.
obviously a patron throwing something in there and using your trash as a market trash can, so that's a little bit different. Mainly what I'm talking is, we have vendors that have their big boxes of products, and then when they empty their stuff, they throw everything away. Or
Okay.
if they're constantly doing samples and, you know, all of their sample trash might go into our trash. So just making sure that, if it's patrons using your trash can, I would say either direct them to one of our bins, or just, that's fine to,
Okay,
you know,
thanks.
grab that stuff
It's
out.
never
But-
more than like a grocery bag.
Yeah, yeah, so I would say that's fine, as long as, like, that is what it is truly. I don't wanna get in the habit of having vendors throw their trash into our bins either, so just being
Right.
cautious of like what you're throwing away, right? If it's like, produce that doesn't sell, that's different. If it's like products, or like, if you're a prepared food vendor and you're throwing your food in there, we don't want that either. So anything that you bring and you create as trash needs to go home with you.
Yeah, the extent of it was just us going, okay, this water is just gonna go right here, and we'll take the cup and still take it out and throw it away.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a lot of time and the customer, they put like a meal and the coffee and put on the table. And they drop in the floor, it's all messy, but I clean my space. So it's a lot of water dirty, you know, so I just throw in my water for the, my water in my use for flower, I just take home. So I do a lot, and most every day like that for me.
Again, I would say like, again, if it's, you're bringing it, try to take it home with you. Obviously, if there are other situations, we can talk after too, to kind of,
I just let you know about the people, they
Yeah.
ask for that, and I have to take home.
yes.
So that's what I did, but my mask, I had to take home.
Yeah, people are very messy. People are leaving stuff at your booth. Feel free to throw that in the
Just
trash
drink it.
cans. Like, you don't need to take other people's trash home with you. The main gist of this is like, don't dump your
Beat it to
products
death.
don't dump your trash that you're personally creating into the streets or into our bins, okay? If you have questions on site, like, let us know, but like, if it's other people's trash, feel free to use the public trash to throw that away, okay? We also have a vehicle fine that is new this year, so if you are repeatedly coming in the market before 12:15, you're repeatedly not leaving until after 6:45 or 7:45 in October. We'll have that conversation with you. If you're repeatedly not using this traffic flow map, just know that you are subject to a fine. Parking in front of barricades that are clearly labeled not to park in front of, or reckless driving, none of that will be tolerated. So just know that this is here, as a resource for us. We're not trying to get you all, but just know that this could be, something that comes up. We could give you a warning, right? So, just so that you are aware of this. Keep not changing this slide. If you receive a fine at the market, okay, most likely we'll tell you in person if we can find you. Most of these things are, you are caught in the act, okay? If Amelia is dumping something onto the street and we see that, I will say, hey, you can't do that, right? If the next week that happens again, hey, we're gonna find you, okay? We've told you, you can't do that, we're gonna find you. We will send you a follow-up message via Market Spread to your email and your mobile device with the information about the fine, what the incident was, and how to proceed, okay? So you will know if you get a fine. It won't just be like added to your invoice. You will know, and we will tell you that you have a fine. That fine must be paid before your next vending date, okay? If anything, that fine needs to be paid before you vend again, okay? So just so that you're aware, you will know if you get one, it needs to be paid before you vend again, and it will go on to your Market Spread and your email, and you will be notified in more than one way. With vendor fees, this is also new this year. If you are a food vendor, a prepared food vendor, or a food truck, this applies to you. This year, we are doing a cleanup deposit for prepared food and food trucks, okay? It is $100, not $150. I don't know why I typed that. It is due by May 1. Basically, this is for, and it's to hold you accountable to stay compliant with our guidelines. If you do so, you will get that deposit back at the end of the season, okay? We will not even cash this check. We are gonna hold on to them in our safe. And if we need to cash it, we will let you know, okay? If you are removing all of your trash and all of your equipment from the market, if you dispose of your wastewater and your grease properly, if you're taking your stuff home with you like you're supposed to, and you're, putting coverings on the street, if you're cooking with grease or on, making sure that your area is cleaned up, you will have no problems. You will get your $100 back. If you are dumping everything into the street, you're leaving your trash everywhere, we're probably gonna cash it so that we can clean the street. We do power wash the street from time to time with food vendors and food trucks, so we wanna just kind of make sure that we're not, we're making sure that we're basically holding our vendors who are doing that accountable. Okay, so if you have questions about this, let us know. If you're here today, this has to be a check written to Downtown Events Group. It is on your checklist if you're required to have this. And so please let us know if you have questions. This is new this year. It's $100. And if you follow all of the rules, you'll get it back at the end of the season. These are just our booth fees. They're located in the handbook as well. For payment information, all of your invoices are out. Okay, they are live on Market Spread. If you need a payment plan, let me know. I'm still working through some other people who've requested payment plans. So if you've already asked for one, be patient, I will get to you. But all of the payments, at least the first installment, needs to be paid before May 1, okay? If you pay before May 1 and you balance your account out to 0, so you pay everything for the season before May 1, you will get your application fee refunded back to you as a credit. What this means is if you pay everything, we will refund that $65 to you. And then you will be able to use that $65 next year when you apply for your application fee or as a winter market fee, right? So you'll be able to use that credit towards other events or other applications that you might fill out. Or if you want to add a date later on, you can use that to kind of proportion out that fee as well. We do have overdue balance fees this year. So if your balance is overdue, you may be assessed a fee. Here they are listed right here. So please make sure that you're paying your invoices on time and in a timely manner. If you need a payment plan or you have questions or you need some grace with that, let us know. Bottom line of pretty much everything I'm telling you today is communicate with us and you will be fine, okay? Let us know if you are gonna be gone, let us know if there's a payment plan, just let us know. If you don't tell us, we don't know, okay? For vendor requirements, we are digging down a little bit deeper this year with our requirements, just because of the things that have been flagged in the past. The first requirement is for every single vendor in this room and every single vendor online. Everyone needs a certificate of general liability insurance. If you're here today, it was on your checklist. You can upload that to MarketSpread. You can email the certificate to Farmers Market at downtowndsmusa.com. It needs to have Downtown Events Group as additionally insured, not the Farmers Market, Downtown Event Group, okay? That is the information. It's also listed on your checklist. If you're virtual, we will send this information out to you. If you are a prepared food vendor or a food truck, you will need a temporary food license. This is through the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals. So if you have any questions on that, you can let me know. If you are a food truck, you need to have your food truck inspected by the Des Moines Fire Department. That's really awesome if you have your food truck inspected by the West Des Moines Fire Department or the Clive Fire Department or the Woodward, Iowa Fire Department. That's great, but to vend at our market, it needs to be the Des Moines Fire Department that has your inspection, okay? Our rules are a little bit different in Des Moines, so we need to have the Des Moines Fire Department look at that. If you are a specialty artisan or an ag vendor, please make sure that you have your correct licensing through the Iowa Department of Inspections and the Department of Agriculture. So you can look on the Department of Inspections and Appeals website for if you are a cottage food or a home food processing establishment. We will need copies of these licenses. We will also need a copy of the temporary food license for prepared food. You can upload these to MarketSpread, same as your insurance. These are things that you don't necessarily have to like go out and get extra. If you are a business and you have these things, you will know, okay? If this is a requirement for your business, we just need a copy of that, okay? If you are a produce vendor and you have a scale, make sure that it's registered through the Department of Agriculture. And if you wish to be in the Farmers Market Nutrition Program, you can also register and apply for that as well. That's not a requirement, but that's just if you want to be a part of that program. The other day, Kurt Reber was here with the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals, and he was talking about the food safety and all of that. So the DIA will be on site for majority of the Saturdays in the market season, okay? So they are on site, they go talk to different vendors. If you're a food vendor or a food truck or you have a food establishment license, all of those things they look for. They might talk to you. So please make sure you're compliant. If you have any questions about, do I have the right license? Do I need a license? What do I need to do? Reach out to me, reach out to Kurt. He's very good about getting back to people. He's very passionate about the things that he does. And he's happy to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you. I can get you his information as well. It's on the screen. So if you have any questions about what licensing you might need, let him know. Along with that, yesterday John was here to kind of talk about the Farmers Market Nutrition Program and produce safety. If you have any questions about that, give him a call. If you want to be a part of the Farmers Market Nutrition Program, you can also give him a call or go on their website. And there's an application that you fill out. It's very easy to be able to accept those. This is for produce vendors pretty much only. But if you have any questions on that, the Department of Ag can help you. Also through the Iowa Department of Agriculture, this year, the Downtown Farmers Market is a member of Choose Iowa. So this is basically just helping, consumers, connect with Iowa produce and food products to expand our market. So people come to our market, they want to shop local, and so this is just giving them an indicator that they are indeed shopping local. You as a vendor can also get a membership. There are a lot of different benefits to it. Basically, we just wanted to let you know that we are a member, so if you are, there's like some things that you can like cross-reference and say that you can find you at the market and whatnot. So we just want to let you know in case any of you are or want to be, okay? All right. Vendor signage and products. This is very important. We've changed this a little bit from years past, but it's always been in our handbook. Every single booth must display a sign that clearly identifies your business or farm name, okay? Whatever your vendor name is, you need to have that identified on your booth. Every item that you have for sale must be clearly marked with a price, right? Prices must be posted. You can have them on one big sign and just write your products down with a price. You can individually label things. You can put them on the table and label the table, whatever works for you, but there has to be prices on your items. If you do not have prices on certain products, market management will ask you to remove those products until you post a price, okay? So if we walk by and we see that you are selling eggplant and you don't have a price on it, I'm sorry, put that away or get a sticky note to say what price it is, okay? Everything must be marked with a price. Everything that you sell must also be uploaded into MarketSpread. We had a question yesterday that was saying, do I have to add like every single type of tomato or every single piece of jewelry? Yes and no. If you're a produce vendor, I want more than produce. I want tomatoes, I want, onions, I want the different types of produce that you sell. If you are doing handmade jewelry, you can be basic and say earrings, necklaces, bracelets, okay? If you are a prepared food vendor, I want your menu listed. If you're doing coffee, right, you can just say coffee or drip coffee or coffee beans or whatever that might be, but it needs to be in MarketSpread, okay? If you have questions on how to add products to your MarketSpread account after your application's been approved, let me know. It's a little bit of a clunky little process, but there are a lot of resources that we can give you. Electricity is not available at the market. If you do need to have electricity and you need to have a generator, you need to request approval. So please email me and let me know if you need a generator. If you have to have a generator, this is the appropriate generator that you must have. It needs to be 65 decibels of sound or less. We recommend the Honda version. You can't be causing disruptions. Make sure it's not a tripping hazard, it's pulled out of the way, or the cords are put down with a mat, something that people don't trip over. We do have the right to remove any generator at any time. We don't want to do that, but we want to make sure that it's not loud and disruptive. Okay, if you have questions on the type of generator, or if you're not sure if you marked in your application if you'll need a generator, come chat with us after and we can double check. Okay, we're gonna get into some of the food assistance and market vouchers. Oops. Put my stuff around. First, I want to show you all of the programs that we have, which are listed on the screen. And then underneath of them, it's showing how many vendors at the market accept those programs, which is really great. Okay, we have a ton of vendors that accept our EBT tokens, 124 of them to be exact. So how this is going to work, I'm going to kind of shout out a vendor type, and then we're going to talk about the things that you accept, and then we'll move on to the next vendor type. Okay, so first, I want to show you all of the different types of tenders that you might see as a vendor at our market. All of these are things that you could potentially see. Not all of you accept all of these, but if you see them, know that they are a valid currency at our market. If you don't accept them, you can just let them know, hey, we don't accept that, but the information booth can tell you where they do accept that, okay? So first, every single person in this room, all vendor types, everyone online, everyone in this room can accept these market gift certificates. They come in red and green, $1 and $5 increments, no changes given, everybody must accept them, and they're not sold to the public, okay? These are primarily used for our market staff and our sponsors, as well as sometimes we do some giveaways with them as well. So you will see these throughout the market. They're not always gonna be like the most common thing that you see, but you will see them. Please accept them. If you accept EBT and Double Up, you might receive a little bag from us at the beginning of the market where you shove the rest of your tokens. You can put these in there as well. If you do not get a bag from us, your material goods, prepared food, a food truck, you can just bring these to the information booth and we will write you a check and mail that to you. Or you can mail them into our office at 700 Locust Street and we can mail you a check as well. We cannot guarantee that you're gonna be paid out in cash on site, okay? We sometimes don't have capacity to do that. So just know that if you give them to us and write your name on the back, we will mail you a check for these, okay? Yes,
Can we collect these throughout the entire year and just do one big mail-in to you?
that is perfectly acceptable, but you just have to mail them in before the expiration date on the gift certificate. The expiration date will be December 31st of 2025. So as long as you get them to us by the end of the year, yes, you can definitely do that. All right, if you are a specialty artisan, agriculture, farmer, or produce, yes,
I saw some of those produce X things on the last screen.
yes, we'll get there.
Okay, alright.
If you are any of these vendor types, now is your time to listen to me very closely. We have a centralized EBT and SNAP program. This is eligible for all vendors that sell eligible products, okay? Even if you don't normally accept these on your own, right? This is easy access for our patrons and vendors because we use these little wooden tokens that are up in this corner, okay? So people who have SNAP come to the information booth, they swipe their SNAP card and they say, we want 20 of these tokens, and we give them 20 tokens that they can spend on any vendor that has eligible products, all right? You do not exchange these for cash, you do not give cash back, and you can only purchase certain items, all right? Basically anything that's like pre-packaged, ready to take home and eat, you can use these on. They can't purchase wine or beer or CBD products, no non-food items like pet food, paper goods, household supplies, no served foods, no hot foods, nothing that you can consume on site. Obviously, there are things that might be packaged that people do eat on site, that's fine, but like they need to have a package for you to buy it. You will not be paid back for non-eligible transactions, okay? If you are material goods and you have accepted some of these, we cannot legally pay you back and reimburse you for these. If you are taking them for incorrect items, we cannot pay you back, okay? Again, these are the items that you can use those tokens on. Produce, honey, baked goods, eggs and milk, coffee beans, any sort of prepackaged dip, meat, poultry, nuts, different things. Anything on this screen, you can use the EBT tokens for. Those tokens must say Downtown Farmers Market Des Moines, and they can only be used at our farmers market. Every week, if you collect these tokens, you will be given a little bag that has this receipt in it. We will pass them out at the beginning of the market. It has a little number on it so that we can track whose bag is who. At the end of the market, you will fill this out, put it back in your bag, and we will collect them weekly. We will cut checks for reimbursement on a monthly basis, and those will be mailed out to you or dropped off at your vendor booth at your next vendor date. We cannot reimburse for tokens that you have not turned in. So if you say, oh, we had 5, but I think they're in my car, but I don't remember, can you reimburse me? No. We must have the token in your bag in order for us to reimburse for that amount. If you are a produce farmer, this is for you. We are in a program called the Double Up Food Bucks. Okay, this is through the Iowa Healthiest State Initiative. This is basically a 1-to-1 match on the SNAP tokens. So anyone that comes to get their SNAP tokens from the info booth, we can do a 1-to-1 match up to $15 that can be used on fresh produce only. If you are eligible to take this, you must have a banner. So if you did not get a banner today for Double Up or EBT, let me know and I will get you one. If you're virtual, you can come pick that up with your t-shirts, your first market date, or you can stop in the office and get it. With this, this is the token on the top. It's the orange one this year, so it expires at the end of the year. That is the token that you can accept. Again, no cash back. New this year, we're doing the Produce RX. That is the produce prescription program. This program is, we partner with healthcare providers and they like prescribe produce to their patients. And so you might see some of these floating around the market. They can only use them at certain locations and the market is one of them. So they can be used on produce only. And so if you accept Double Up Food Bucks, you also can accept the produce prescription program. You will get paid back on a monthly basis in the same way. So again, produce only for both of those. If you have seen these vouchers, these are for the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. This is a program hosted by the Iowa Department of Agriculture, okay? And just on time, John is walking in the door as we speak. So I will actually let him come up and chat a little bit more about this. Basically, just know that the market cannot pay you back for any of these vouchers that you get. So he can kind of talk about the process in which you can apply for this program if you're interested, or if you accept this program, what you can do with these vouchers, essentially.
Okay. Hey folks, my name is John Preston from the Iowa Department of Agriculture. I'm gonna give a really quick rundown of the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. This is the program managed and administered by the Department of Agriculture. Unfortunately, I don't have my vendor signs with me. But you may, if you haven't heard of it, you may recognize those vendor signs that you see in the market. Big picture, the message I want to get across today is that these vouchers, they look a lot like this. Do not accept them unless you are a certified vendor for the current year in the program. So that's the big picture. Don't take them if you don't know what they are, if you've never seen them before, and you do accept them, we will not be able to pay you if you're not certified for the current year. If you are certified for the current year and another vendor approaches you and asks you to redeem it on their behalf, don't do that either. So you can't act as a bank for other people, because that does happen a lot where we do get non-certified vendors that have never seen these before, and they accept them and they don't know what to do with them, so they start asking their market manager and other vendors to, hey, can you redeem this and just pay me back? So just be mindful of that. So with this program, we administer these $5 vouchers to low-income seniors and to WIC mothers and children, and they can use those to purchase local fresh produce and honey at certified vendor stalls at authorized locations. And if you are more interested in it and learning more, there's my phone number up on the screen. There is a certification process. There's an annual certification process. The downtown Des Moines Farmers Market is an authorized location. So if you're participating there, that's one of the check boxes. Otherwise, that's kind of the big picture. I will be hanging around with some business cards, and you're welcome to chat with me after the meeting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So moving on with our market handbook, this is new this year as well. We've revamped it, we've rewritten it. So everybody should have received a copy of it when they applied. They've agreed to it. If you want another copy or you can't find the other one, please let me know. I would be happy to send that to you. This has all of the contact information for our team, vendor conduct rules, as well as a market spread FAQ. So if you're like, wow, this market spread thing is really confusing, there is a 2-page FAQ in the back of that handbook that you can look at. There's our weather procedures and a lot more information as well. And pretty much everything in your packet is also listed in there. So if you have any questions or need a copy, let me know. With market spread, this is gonna be kind of your hub for everything market related. It'll show your product acceptance and denials. It'll show your stall assignments. It'll show your accepted dates. It will have your vendor fees and invoices, so your invoices again are out. If you, make sure your contact information is updated, because vendors will receive a weekly email on their market dates with all the information that you need to know. If you have multiple people in your business or that will be at the market that need to receive this email, you can go in and you can add other emails to your account. If you have questions about that, grab me after and I'll let you know. There's also a learning center, which is this blue box down here. If you're in your account and you go up to the top right corner, it'll say support. You click on that, it'll pop up with the learning center. You can open a ticket. You can reach out to MarketSpread at support@marketspread.com. You can read articles about how to do things. So if you can't figure it out and you can't get a hold of me, this is probably your best next option. You can find a lot of things on this learning center. I have it up on a daily basis because there are still things that I don't know. So this is a really great feature that we have found, and it has a lot of really great information. So overall, this is the contact information. It's very tiny, I know, I'm so sorry. It's in your handbook. Basically, in a nutshell, let us know if there are things that you have questions on. Let us know if you're gonna be gone. Communicate with us, okay? I will say that the number on this screen will go to my desk upstairs. So if you're trying to call that on a market day, I probably won't answer because I'm not at my desk upstairs. So your best bet is to email me, to send me a message through MarketSpread, to email the farmer's market email. You can definitely call and leave a voicemail and I can listen to the voicemail on site. I just can't call you back. So if you have questions on site, your best bet, send an email, send a message on MarketSpread, come to the information booth at Third and Court. Someone will be there and can get a hold of me. Find an orange shirt, right? If it's not a market day, call me, email, whatever. Let us know. Communicate with us. We are people too, so we understand that things happen, but just making sure that you're communicating with us, okay? Otherwise, May 3rd is opening day, so we will see you then. If there are any questions, John is over here, so if you have questions about the Farmers Market Nutrition Program, otherwise I can answer some questions right now if anybody has any, and we can, yeah, any questions?
On the 26th, some vendor they go home by noon, some going home by 3:30.
Yeah.
I saw the email, look, I feel something and you see what I go stay at 3:30.
Okay.
So, but I make sure I got there.
Yeah, I can check for you. Yeah, so for the 26th, we are planning to have those dates solidified by the end of April, so that you should know. If you're not sure if you filled out the survey, I can check for you. I can write it down.
I remember I do that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can check for you. And so if you haven't gotten that little form to fill out and you're interested in staying, let me know and I can send that to you, but I can check. Any other questions?
I saw it said no sampling, that,
You can sample, they just have to be like in a foot of your booth and then they have to just follow the same. Through the front and left.
I have a question about like how the street mark this opportunity that we're gonna be doing next week.
Yep, so, question about, whether the street will be marked, we are marking the street like we have in the past. Because we've remeasured everything, we are planning to mark it a little bit differently. It will be clear where your booth locations will be. So just making sure that you're double checking the spot on, the street where you're supposed to be, making sure that you're only taking up a 10 by 10, unless of course you're on the south side of Port Avenue, those spaces are a little bit bigger. If you have a corner and you've paid for a corner, you can utilize those corners. So just knowing that, but we will be marking the street next week. And so we'll have a better idea of kind of what color we're marking everything and kind of where you should be looking once we send that follow-up email out with the slide deck and all of the different things. Yep, if you were a Spark vendor, we are gonna be working on those dates in the next couple of weeks as well. So watch your MarketSpread, probably in about 2 weeks, those will be finalized so that you'll know.
A question about,
If she doesn't know.
emergencies, medical emergencies, attendee harassment, minor, major, 911 or 911.
Yeah. Basically, the rule of thumb is if you see an emergency happen next to your vendor booth space, call 911. Okay, that end of the day, call 911. If you call 911, the dispatch will connect them to the EMTs on site and they will also show up. The police will come there too. We have a radio that's connected to dispatch as well as the EMTs and the police. So if you call 911, that dispatcher will connect you with everybody on site and we will all kind of show up and make sure everything's okay. If there is some sort of harassment or vendors, or patrons are harassing vendors or other vendors are, please let us know. Again, there is on-site police presence, so grab one of them. If it's something that's recurring, grab one of us, let us know. But I would say the rule of thumb is if there's an emergency, please call 911. Don't wait for our EMTs to walk by and see that. Call 911 and they will connect everybody where they need to go.
For reference, the EMTs will be on the corner of 3rd and Court, so if you are over there and it's quicker for you to just walk or run over there, that's where they will be. And very easy accessible right on the corner. And the police officers are normally roaming, so if you see one on site, those are the ones that you can stop and have a conversation with. There's a question about severe weather policies. I can kind of jump into this a little bit. The market is rain or shine, so we really won't call the market unless there's a very, very severe storm. However, we would likely delay the market and then communicate with everyone via market spread. That unfortunately happened opening day last year, where we messaged everyone through market spread on what the details would be on when we would open and just kind of keeping everyone in the loop. For a rule of thumb, we have to, if a lightning strikes within 10 miles of our space, we have to wait 30 minutes. So that's kind of our rule of thumb of what we're looking at, but we're also connected with weather entities here in Des Moines and Polk County that sort of help us with those decisions. So I would say I'm really gonna harp on making sure that your market spread is up to date with your phone number and your email, because that's how we'll communicate with you on site.
Any other questions? Yes.
Is there a certain decibel level for the musicians on the corners? Sometimes it can get a little loud and it's hard to talk with the customers.
Yeah, so question about decibel levels for entertainers. We don't necessarily have a decibel level, like stated in our
Sure.
handbook necessarily. Obviously with generators, it's the same thing with musicians. If they have a generator, it has to be a certain brand and a certain decibel level. If you're finding that certain entertainers are being a little bit louder and you can't really hear your customers, let us know. We always are happy to tell them to turn it down a little bit. It really depends because some of them don't even have a microphone, some of them do, some of them have a generator. It depends on who's scheduled. So if there are certain ones that you're like, hey, they're being really loud today, feel free to ask us to have them turn it down and we're
Okay,
happy to do
thanks.
that. Yes,
I know it's early, but do you have an idea of the dates for the holiday market?
we're still working on that. It'll likely be a very similar time to what it was last year. Any other questions? If there are any other questions that you think of after you leave, feel free to reach out. And then if you're virtual as well, you can stop by the office to grab your packets and your materials, or you can reach out and grab them your first date. But thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you tonight.
Yeah, she might just not a call day, she'll know, yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Good to see you.